Mark Twain Selected Works. Extract from Chapter 24 of Life on the Mississippi. My Incognito is Exploded. 1883. We struck down through the chute of Island number 8, and I went below and fell into conversation with a passenger, a handsome man with easy carriage and an intelligent face. We were approaching Island number 10, a place so celebrated during the war. This gentleman's home was on the main shore in its neighborhood. I had some talk with him about the war times, but presently the discourse fell upon feuds. For in no part of the South has the vendetta flourished more briskly or held out longer between warring families than in this particular region. This gentleman said, "There's been more than one feud around here in old times, but I reckon the worst one was between the Darnells and the Watsons. Nobody don't know now what the first quarrel was about, but so long ago. The Darnells and the Watsons don't know, if there's any of them living, which I don't think there is. Some says it was about a horse or cow. Anyway, it was a little matter. The money in it wasn't of no consequence, none in the world. Both families was rich. The thing could have been fixed up easy enough, but no, that wouldn't do. Rough words had been passed, and so nothing but blood could fix it up after that. That horse or cow, whichever it was, cost 60 years of killing and crippling. Every year or so somebody was shot on one side or the other, and as fast as one generation was laid out, their sons took up the feud and kept it a-going. And it's just as I say. They went on shooting each other year in and year out, making a kind of a religion of it, you see, till they'd done forgotten long ago what it was all about. Wherever a Darnell caught a Watson or a Watson caught a Darnell, one of them was going to get hurt. Only question was, which of them got the drop on the other? They'd shoot one another down right in the presence of the family. They didn't hunt for each other, but when they happened to meet, they puffed and began. Men would shoot boys, boys would shoot men. A man shot a boy 12 years old, happened on him in the woods, and didn't give him no chance. If he had given him a chance, the boy'd have shot him. Both families belonged to the same church. Everybody around here is religious. Through all this 50 or 60 years fuss, both tribes was there every Sunday to worship. They lived each side of the line, and the church was at a landing called Compromise. Half the church and half the aisle was in Kentucky, the other half in Tennessee. Sundays you'd see the families drive up all in their Sunday clothes, men, women, and children, and file up the aisle and sit down quiet and orderly, one lot on the Tennessee side of the church and the other on the Kentucky side. And the men and boys would lean their guns up against the wall handy, and then all hands would join in with the prayer and praise, though they say the man next the aisle didn't kneel down along with the rest of the family, kind of stood guard. I don't know, never was at that church in my life, but I remember that's what used to be said. 20 or 25 years ago, one of the feud families caught a young man of 19 out and killed him. Don't remember whether it was the Darnells and Watsons or one of the other feuds. But anyway, this young man rode up, steamboat laying there at the time, and the first thing he saw was a whole gang of the enemy. He jumped down behind a woodpile, but they rode around and begun on him, he firing back, and they galloping and cavorting and yelling and banging away with all their might. Think he wounded a couple of them, but they closed in on him and chased him into the river, and as he swam along down the stream, they followed along the bank and kept on shooting at him. And when he struck shore, he was dead. Wendy Marshall told me about it. He saw it. He was captain of the boat. Years ago, the Darnells were so thinned out that the old man and his 2 sons concluded they'd leave the country. They started to take a steamboat just above number 10, but the Watsons got wind of it, and they arrived just as the 2 young Darnells was walking up the companionway with their wives on their arms. The fight begun then, and they never got no further, both of them killed. After that, old Darnell got into trouble with the man that run the ferry, and the ferryman got the worst of it, and died. But his friend shot old Darnell through and through, filled him full of bullets, and ended him.